So pretty much podcast starts now. What is up, everyone around the globe? You're listening to StraightioLab.
Oh, I'm feeling loose.
I'm feeling loose.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
feeling
feeling
blank.
loosey-goosey.
I'm simply a canvas for ideas to be painted upon.
If I turn my head one way versus another, entire mini series on television could be created. I am in such a place of sponge-like absorption of the world around me, and I'm ready to create.
Have you ever done the artist's way?
You know, here's the thing. I have started it twice. I don't think I have gotten past week 3 both times.
Well, that's all you need. But I've been hearing about it secondhand, and I think it is funny to be like, just be open for God to come through you. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm literally so open all the time. That's crazy. Yeah. I'm literally such a vessel for Christ. That's awesome.
I recently, in a very vulnerable turn, shared my forgotten audiobook library. I don't know if you saw this.
I did.
I would say pretty alarming. I don't know how much you sort of took it in.
It was all self-help stuff.
It was a lot of self-help that I listened to one chapter of. Because the thing is, I just am not, I know I'm not a self-help person. I know I can't do it. However, once a year, someone I trust will be like, yeah, I know I'm not either. I'm also punk rock and, fuck the system. But this one really helped me. And then I'll be like, all right, if you say so, maybe you're right. And then I will have an allergic reaction to it. I can't do it. And I actually think that's my issue with Artist's Way too. Because I'm also why? When they're do morning pages and just write stream of consciousness without taking your pen off the paper, I'm like, no. What if I write while thinking and I actually organize my ideas?
Yeah, but then you're being critical and you're they're trying to make you more open and not be critical of your ideas.
And you find that has worked for you?
Yeah, I actually love being non-critical of writing at first, because it just I've been talking about it as you develop a scab, and you're sort of okay, well, now I'm scabbed so hard over that I can't come up with anything. But if you break that scab off by just writing whatever, then you're oh, I guess you just write whatever. Because if you're putting, I think I'm frozen, and that's okay.
Okay, we're back.
We're back, thank God. So basically I was talking about scabs and about how we all have them.
I just want to say, for everyone listening, we did all just freeze. And also it is 4:45 p.m. on a Friday, my time.
Yeah. And I will say it's 1:44 on a Friday, my time.
Which is maybe worse.
I'll say.
No, mine's worse. Sorry to center myself.
Why is it worse, do you feel?
Because you're still in the middle of your workday. You can, yes, the day is winding down, but if you're working in an office right now, you could potentially be going to a meeting. No?
I mean, you're right. It's just when you said that, I got scared. I was I felt like an injustice where I was there's someone in a meeting right now.
Yeah.
And I actually want to free them. I want to run into the office with a gun, and say, let them out.
Don't you think, though? Okay, here's my take on meetings when I've been in an office environment. What's great about meetings is that you actually have an excuse to kind of zone out and do nothing. Whereas if you're at your desk, it's more stressful because you feel the need to appear like you're working. You can just listen attentively if you're in a meeting. When I am in an office environment and suddenly I have what's called in the business back-to-back meetings, let's say it's lunchtime and you're oh God, I can't believe I have back-to-back meetings from 2 to 6 p.m. To me, that's heaven. I'm basically sleepwalking through the entire afternoon.
But this speaks to you as a performer. There's something about the performance of a meeting that speaks to you more than the
It is so easy.
At your desk, the only person you're performing for is yourself.
Yeah.
It's send that email, and you're fuck, I have to send that email, and you're just sort of overthinking it, and you're I don't want to. But as soon as someone else's eyes are on you, you're watch this. I can tap dance around you guys in this meeting.
Yeah, an email. First of all, it's never going to, an email as a form is never going to be transcendent. Like, it's very rare that I've written a transcendent email, but it's actually very common that I've said something absolutely legendary in a meeting. You know, I just have to sort of get in the zone. So email, it's not going to be transcendent, and you're not going to get positive feedback. Meeting, honestly, most people are not that bright. All you have to do is speak up and say something semi-coherent. Immediately, you're going to get praise from 2 people in that room.
I mean, talk about vessel for Christ, talk about artist's way. When you're in a boardroom and you're speaking, like God is speaking through you.
Yeah.
There is a divine energy in you in a boardroom speaking.
And it's also like, I almost do want to talk about this. I bombed so hard last night at a show, and it made me remember something you sort of forget. We're so used to being in front of people, speaking in front of people, that then it's like a piece of cake if you're in a boardroom and you have people like aggressively nodding in a kind of performative way.
Yeah.
We've been like training for it our whole lives.
Yeah. Can I ask about this bomb?
Sure.
Did it emotionally hurt?
You know, it was one of those New York nights where I was running late, so I took an Uber, which, bad decision. It was snowing and there was traffic. I show up to the show 40 minutes late.
Wow.
I mean, I knew I was going to be last on the lineup, so I wasn't, I knew I wasn't like inconveniencing anyone, but I was originally going to show up on time, and I showed up 40 minutes late after paying $30 for an Uber. Get to the show, immediately have to go up, bomb, leave the show. I get stuck on a J train for 20 minutes with no cell service. It's just, it's kind of like, you're heading home and your clothes are ripped, you're bleeding, your phone is dead, one shoe is gone, you're basically crawling on the floor. And I'd be lying if I said it wasn't also sort of romantic in this way, because I am, kind of Carrie Bradshaw locked out of her apartment, Broad City, the gals sort of like with, one boob out of the bra, like trying to get to the Lil Wayne concert. So, you win some, you lose some, but it definitely did not feel good.
Yeah, that hurts.
And I hadn't bombed I guess I hadn't bombed in a while, is the truth of it. I'll be honest.
Not to brag. Do you think, was it just flusteredness, or was it like...
That's what hurt, is that it was my fault. It was, I somehow went up and did not have the right energy to begin with, said one thing, the audience immediately did not care about me. I was unable to leave the sort of vocal monotone. I was like, and then I was aware of that, so I was trying to make myself sound animated. So it was like I was forcing a smile, and they could also sense the inauthenticity in that. And then I actually like forgot my material.
Now that's classic. That's kind of fun.
Crazy.
Yeah. That is crazy.
Sometimes you actually, if you're in a good enough place, you can forget something and then roll with the punches and almost transcend and like improv on the spot. This was one of those things where I would like say half a sentence and then remember that I forgot something and then just go back and repeat it without like addressing it. And then they wouldn't laugh and I'd be like, why? I said it. I said it the right way. What the fuck do you want?
That's tough.
Yeah.
Damn. I'm like bomb central these days.
Are you?
Well, I did one show last week and bombed. And it was weird because there were coworkers there, and then everyone has to be like, good job, and I have to be like, thank you, because it's even worse to be like, I bombed.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I did that. And that was the final straw where I was like, oh, I am fully, like, this is the biggest flop night of my life, because I ran into people I knew, and I immediately did a whole self-flagellating, like, oh God, that was rough. Like, am I right? Blah, blah. And they were all like, no, you were good. And it's like, what are we doing here?
Just say I bombed. It's okay.
But of course they can't say that. You're like, it's like you're putting them in a weird spot. Of course you did the right thing and I did the wrong thing. Like, you can never start talking to someone about bombing.
You literally just have to go, thanks, thank you. Yeah. Thanks.
And guess what? No one cares.
No one cares for even a second. Yeah, that's like the biggest lesson. That's the biggest takeaway. That should put that in the artist's way. Yeah, no one cares.
No one cares. I'm sorry, but if Julia Cameron ever tried stand-up comedy, she'd be in tears in a second. I don't think any of those methods that she's so famous for would help her.
Well, that's because stand-up comedy is not an art.
Maybe if she was a painter or a screenwriter.
The cowardly art forms. Should we bring in our guest, our esteemed guest, who actually has never bombed in his entire
I've never
life.
seen Richard bomb. Please welcome Richard Perez for the second time.
But who's counting?
Returning champ.
Returning champ, mama.
Hi,
Diva.
Oh my God, hi.
How are you?
Speaking of bombing.
Hi.
Hi. No, sometimes it feels like I'll get on stage, I'll be like, hi. And I'm just like covered in soot. I like sweep myself off the stage. I'm
Yeah.
Like, thanks, guys. Thanks for
There's
your
like the
time."
ringing in your ear, like your vision has that like blur effect on it.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I wish I was the
hate
type of
happens.
performer.
Happens.
Like, here's my dream. All right, this is my new act. I'm on a lineup. I have 7 minutes to perform. The entire bit is that I have a series of false starts. So I like say hi, then I like slip and fall. Then I get up and I'm like, sorry about that. Then I like get the mic, but it falls on my hand. Then I spend like, 2 minutes trying to put it back together. Then I'm like, hi. And then my phone rings. I'm like, I'm sorry, I have to take this. But I do that, Andy Kaufman style for 10 full minutes.
I mean, that would be
Yeah.
genius. I've certainly
Yeah.
tried.
You've
to do
done that.
before. I've done that before. I've
And
done
you're
whole
good
sets
at
where I
that.
haven't done a joke.
Yeah.
Which are my favorite sets, but then it's kind of tough because the
Yeah,
whole point
I've seen
is
you
to
do
like
that.
have jokes.
Mhm.
So
Is it?
thank you. That's actually a good point.
Is it?
What even is the point?
What even is the point?
What even is the point, guys?
Let's start there.
What even is
What
the point?
even is the point?
Richard, your first question we have for you is what even is the point?
Okay, like I think that well, thank you so much for having me.
Well, thanks for being here.
Stop stalling.
Well, it's just that I'm trying to like because thinking about what you guys were talking about with like Artist's Way and the thoughts that kind of stop you when you're in the writing process to like persist and to continue. I feel that way about just speaking in general. So in a board meeting
Yeah.
or whatever meeting, I don't say
Yeah.
anything, and I'm trying to get better about that. Even if I do perform on stage and I don't say anything for like 10 minutes, I'm like at a meeting where it's like, well, every one of you, like, just tell me your opinion on this or whatever. Like, yeah, I get in the way of.
Would you rather
myself.
send an email or speak up in a board meeting?
I think I don't even know. Both feel like I'm like I didn't get.
You
to
need to be
communicate
on
what
a
I wanted to
stage. Yeah.
say.
In order for you to communicate, you have to be on a stage in front of an audience. Otherwise, it's like
Yeah, like a sold out show.
Yeah, sold out show.
No, that's so true. Like I won't. I can't get my point across that the show isn't sold out.
Exactly.
Yeah, that really, really is tough when the show's not sold out.
But yet, no, like it's just like I don't know. Like I just have a heart. Like I remember back at uni when I was in art school, we would have crit, and I loved it. Loved to hear about people's process and what they're working on. Unpacking some of those things together was fun for me, but I felt like I would have a thought, and then of course someone else would say it, and I was like, oh, I thought the same exact thing. And then the teacher's like, that's so true. What a great thought you had. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. Can I say something about that stuff?
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to deal with it. This idea, like if I
art
ever
school?
like doing an MFA and having everyone go around and say their opinions, I'm like, I respect maybe one of you, and I have to listen to what you think about my work.
I mean, but maybe like sometimes I get that, but I'm like, maybe sometimes they would like at least like ask an interesting question where I'm like, oh, I didn't even think of that.
I sometimes I can just stress myself out by imagining that there's a drag race, but for like gay comedians. And I can imagine the fans like hating me and loving someone else and being like middle of the road, and I can get upset at like something that doesn't even exist. I think anytime you're in comparison with people who are your peers, I'm starting to get upset.
Oh yeah.
And guess what? There is that. It's called literally all of the audiences at the Bell House.
That's true.
They're leaving and they're saying this wasn't as good as when we went to Gay Guys version 2.
Yeah, they have those little note cards they give out that are like, rank this performance based on the last 6 performances you've seen.
Yeah, and everyone, honestly,
you failed this week's
challenge. And then RuPaul's comes out, but it's David Cross.
I feel that way sometimes with some certain shows, like a homework show or something. Like I recently did like a Housewives like show, and I don't watch that show. I don't know that universe at all, but I agreed to it because I was just like, oh yeah, like this should be.
I'm gay.
Fun. Like it's like a table read. I'm like, okay, yeah, like easy. Like I'll sight read, but then like once I get there, I forget that like. Everyone's a huge like people that come to the show are like fans of Housewives, and there's an expectation or something, and the character the person that I was like reading as like has iconic lines and or whatever, like there's these really funny moments that I was just sight reading, and I was like in real time,
but you
like,
were
figuring out like what's.
But I think that's better because it's like the difference between in a biopic someone doing an impression and someone like embodying a character. Like
or it's like in a lip sync when someone does the actual choreo versus when someone makes up their own choreo.
Exactly.
I could have done that, but I didn't. My fear got in the way. My own my critical voice got in the way, and I failed that week's challenge.
Oh no!
So you were kind of like reading it in a straightforward way, as though you would be doing like a reading at a funeral.
Yeah, I was like, I wasn't filming you guys. I wasn't filming.
And
you
would
guys.
you say?
I played
would you say it reached a point of anti-comedy, maybe, where it was like really funny that you were speaking in a monotone, or no?
Yeah, did it loop back around?
No, it was anti-comedy that like no one's laughing.
I mean, that's right.
No one was laughing when I was speaking.
Damn,
and
that's really
fine.
tough.
It's fine. And then I got off stage. I was like, I suck.
And everybody's like, no, you were good. You were good.
No, I know.
I really like the idea of you doing a Real Housewives staged reading. And then, like, being so depressed about bombing that you're going around being like, I fucking sucked. Like, I bombed. That I sucked at that. And everyone's like, it's like,
that's not.
It was a Real Housewives reading. Like, you read the words. You're like, I bombed.
I bombed. At this rate, I'll never get a boyfriend. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I was low key a little. I wasn't like, I bombed, but I was just kind of like, I just want to go home.
That's definitely like how embarrassed. That's how I was.
And I've had like there was like friends from college too that were there. Like,
no, it hurts.
The people I haven't seen in a long time, and I'm like, they're like, hey, but I can feel that energy of like, hey, that's so fun. Like,
no, it really.
But maybe I'm projecting. Maybe I'm just.
No, it's tough to bomb in front of people that know you because it's like. Because they probably see you once every blank years, like perform.
Yeah, literally.
And so it's like,
yeah, literally.
So you do have to be like, this does happen. Like, it's just like, I'm not, this isn't a representation of who I am in total. That's also what's so hard about starting is like when like you're starting and then someone that you look up to is like on the same show as you and you're like, okay. This is the only time they're going to see me. And you go up and like do medium to bad. And you're like, well, they will for years think I suck.
Right.
You know what's worse than that?
What?
Potentially doing really well, but then looking out in the crowd and finding the person you admire and seeing that they're not into it.
yeah.
and then afterwards they just like give you a little fist bump and are like, great set, man.
I think sometimes you can be.
That sounds good.
Yeah, that actually sounds awesome.
That sounds fun.
You guys are just turned on because I did this impression of a straight guy.
We're like, wait, nice. Then what?
Fist bump? Nice.
Thanks. How are you?
I just want to say to everyone that like goes to your friend's comedy show, whatever, you know, imagine you're a lawyer. Imagine inviting someone to see what a random day of your work is like. Sometimes you're not going to slay at that meeting, and sometimes you're not going to get the client. You're not going to get your client the money they need. Sometimes you might even send someone to jail. If you're a doctor, you could kill someone. Now imagine that happens to be the day that I visit because I happen to be visiting New York from Seattle or Portland or Chicago or wherever I live. And you're like, oh my God, I have a surgery that day. Come see it. I come, the person dies. Does that feel good? That's my life every day.
Oh my god!
And you have to be like, well, I don't normally kill people, or else I wouldn't be a doctor.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't keep
And
giving me
they're like,
surgeries.
they're like, fun. Looks like you were having fun
They're
up
like,
there.
it looks like he almost lived. Like,
Yeah. And then that person is like on their group chat with the other friends from college, and they're like, how was George? And they're like, I mean, he killed the patient. Like
he like looked good in the like little scrubs, but like he did kill the guy. But to be fair, the guy was like really sick.
And it was definitely like cool to be in the OR. Like it all seemed like the lighting and everything seemed real. It wasn't like one of these basement ORs.
His coworkers seemed nice. Yeah.
I mean, I still picture this happening in a theater, but like a round one.
Yeah.
And you're
Theater
in the center.
what is it called?
It's like a black box.
Theater on the round.
Yeah.
And then everyone's just kind of watching this like box where you're doing the operation. And there's like music playing like very.
Well, honey, that's the future. With social media and how much everyone wants to be seen, and everyone's a creator now,
and everyone's a creator,
and our president is an influencer.
Everyone's artist way.
Everyone's artist way.
Everyone's artist way.
Know what they're doing? They're making Instagram reels in the White House,
folks.
Give it 6 years. Operations, you'll have to buy a ticket to attend, and you'll have to be sponsored by a brand to attend one of the big operations.
Budweiser presents Sam's appendectomy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the fucking future, people.
Future. You think that's
we don't fucking do something?
You think that's dystopian?
It was so amazing.
You think that's dystopian? You know who's handling all the ticket sales? Prisoners.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Ticketmaster. But, honey, which one's worse? I don't know. Honey, if I had my way, Ticketmaster would be in prison.
Wait, same. Snap.
Oh, literally. Whoever is behind that is evil. The worst part of your friends coming to see your surgery is that you're like, you like obviously kill the person that day. And so it's like such a bummer. But then there's like this nurse who like was really good at cleaning up the blood. And they're like, yeah, like who is that nurse? Like that nurse is really gonna be somebody. I think.
Yes.
Like I could see that nurse like like being like the best nurse.
Yeah, the nurse opened for you.
And meanwhile, you know that nurse's mom is the head hospital administrator, and that's how she got the job. And it's like, yeah, she grew up in that culture, so she of course does a really good job of cleaning and knowing how to do, bedside manner and everything.
Yeah, and the nurse is like 22.
I love it.
Yeah, the nurse is 22. She's like weirdly really pretty.
Yeah.
Mm.
And you did your best.
You did your best. So Richard, are you excited to go on tour?
God, I love what I do.
Yeah, Richard, you're going on tour.
You're going on tour, correct?
Speaking of bombing and performances and things of that nature, I am touring.
What do you think your bomb rate is going to be on tour?
Yeah. If you had to guess, which cities do you think you're going to bomb at?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to say none of them.
Oh.
Huge.
None of them.
Cocky bitch.
You know what? Maybe one.
Are you that nurse? Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm that nurse.
I'm that nurse
on this tour.
I'm that fucking nurse, bitch.
Nurse.
I'm that nurse.
I'm that nurse.
N-U-R-S-E.
Wait, what's song? Wait, which
But
one?
I was doing
Beyonce.
Unique, but
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I was doing Unique.
Unique, yeah. I'm that nurse.
Yeah. Richard, don't do this to us. You're leaving us out to dry in such a crazy way. You're literally just like pretending like you don't know what we're talking about. And it's like one of the most.
Yes. No. You guys, that's not.
These older
like,
doctors ain't stopping me. I'm that nurse. I'm that nurse. Wow, what an incredible interpretation of that song it would be if the video was Beyonce as a nurse and the plot was that all the doctors were male and they were like underestimating her, but she's actually the most amazing nurse.
That would be so cool.
Oh my gosh.
That would be so
That would be
cool.
stunning.
That would be stunning. Can I tell you guys about a bomb that I had once?
Okay.
So this one, I've talked about my worst bombs ever, but this is more of a medium bomb that it's kind of juicy to talk about because it was in front of two-time past guest Lisa Traeger, and it was so bad. It was at the cake shop.
I remember this,
and she was guest hosting for like John. It was when John and Kate hosted that, maybe. and she was
No,
guest
she
hosting.
was one of the people who hosted it.
But this was before she was a perm host.
John Early, by the way.
John Early. And then I went up first. It's a notoriously bad show in general.
Oh.
There's like potentially 8 people in the audience, and it was not a great vibe. I go up, eat complete shit, and she goes up as the host after me and goes, well, that was smart, I guess. Anyway, let's bring up our next comedian. And I was like, holy shit. And it was so...
But was anyone else like slaying?
No, people started slaying like maybe towards the very end as like it finally started to feel warmer.
Okay.
It's
but
a
it
fine
really
line.
took a second.
Yeah, it's a fine line between like, there's a way to interpret that. I mean, I will say that, not her best, maybe. Not her best comment. But there's a way to interpret that as like, we're all in this together, and isn't it such a hard show? And that there was an element of that last night where a lot of people were struggling. And so we were all trying to like make each other feel better by like affirming the other's experience, but you can't affirm it too much because then you're basically agreeing that they bombed.
Yeah, bombed.
Like
that was rough, bud. That was really bad. I didn't laugh once.
yeah. You're like, yeah, the audience was not into that, which is not your fault because you were funny, but I agree that it was a tough room. And it was for me too, don't you agree? And they're like, well, no, you did really well, or would have if the audience had been different.
Yeah. Yeah. That's tough. And actually, I think Lisa has erased it. I think it didn't make an impact, but it's something where I was like, she remembers. Like, I was like, this is like what I am in her mind.
Oh, 100%. She has, I've seen so many people we know do like bomb. It has never made an impression on me.
Yeah, honestly, same. Yeah. And even like people that I'm like a fan of before, and I'm like, oh, I see them and they don't,
right.
They have like an awkward set, or it's just like not, the vibe just isn't there. I'm like, oh, well, I still know they're funny. I still
and on
like, feel that way.
And on the other
them.
side of things, if someone I think is not funny is killing, what I'm thinking is the world's going to hell in a handbasket. No one has taste anymore. It's not changing my mind about how funny they are.
No, you're totally right.
It actually
You're
makes
totally
me like
right.
them less because I'm like, oh, I see. You're just appealing to the lowest common denominator, and it's working, you stupid bitch. I'll see you at Hulu.
I'm like, hack.
Yeah. No offense.
Richard, what are you saying?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, as you sip water.
Richard, look alive.
Richard, hello. We're podcasting, mama.
Sorry. So do you think that like how do I word it? Because like when people are like the audience was thinking, and it's so specific, and it's like 5 specific things. Oh, it's because the way I said this, and then this happened, and then that, and then this is what the audience is thinking. And I'm like, maybe there's some things where there's like something perceptive or like intuitive about it, like sure. But I'm also like, I don't know if that's always the case. Like, I think that it's more of like your own mindset, and like how, like you get tripped up on your own thing, or like your anxieties get the best of you, or the critical voice is just really,
or it could be something you don't even know. Like someone could have, like a phone could have vibrated in the 4th row that you didn't even hear, and then it sort of like distracted one person, and then someone looked back, and in your mind that was because of something you said, but it actually wasn't.
Yeah, right. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess that person hated it, and then you start thinking on that a little. Like, yeah, it can be tough to navigate, but I'm just like, I think it's like there, of course, is a big part of it that like comes from within.
So basically what you're saying is, if you bomb, it's your fucking fault, bitch.
Kind of.
So you're saying,
and you know what? It's my fault. It's my all those
last
times.
Last night,
it's my fault.
So I bomb. I get off stage.
Honestly, really.
Someone in the front row. I've already gotten off stage. Someone in the front row turns to me and takes out like a spray cleaner for eyeglasses, and he goes, "Do you need this?"
Whoa!
Can you believe
that? That's rude.
Who? And this is someone you don't even know.
Someone I don't even know, that I guess noticed while I was on stage that my glasses were a little bit dirty, and knew I did not do well. And as soon as I get off, his first instinct is to offer me glasses cleaner because of how busted my glasses look.
That is so deeply messed up.
Yeah, that's shady.
One time I was bombing so bad, a person offered me a shot.
No.
I was bombing so bad, and these guys were talking, and I was like, will you stop talking? And they were like, we're ordering drinks. And I was like, the bar's not even in this room. Like, what are you talking about? And they're like, we're talking about what we want to get to drink. And they're like, do you want a shot? And I was like, fine. That was the worst bomb of my life.
And then they left and bought
drinks, and then I did a shot while bombing. It was one of the most horrible experiences of my life.
Honestly, the first time I ever performed on the same show as you, Sam, I bombed, and I remember that.
What was it? What was the show?
It was at Club Coming.
See?
I don't remember whose show it was.
Sam has no recollection of that. And for you, it is something you were thinking about all these years later.
And I'm like, and this was like, because that night was the first night you and I like formally met. And you were like, oh, like you should like do the podcast. And then like a few weeks later, I did it.
I have that with Aaron Jackson. The first time Aaron saw me perform, I bombed. I'm sure he does not remember it. We are good friends.
Yeah.
But I will never forget like saying something, everyone being silent, and then making eye contact with Aaron, who was just sort of like, had like an encouraging smile, but he knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Should we do our first segment?
I think that's a really good idea.
Wait, should I talk about my tour a little bit?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I just want to promote it a little bit. Please.
Yeah, go.
You're allowed.
Hi, guys. Welcome to StraightioLab Does It Different with Richard Perez as your host for this segment. This segment is to promote my upcoming tour. It's for my solo show called I Have to Do This, directed by Charlie Bardet, dear friend of all of ours. And the cities that I will be visiting this spring will be... what is it? Portland, Seattle, Chicago, Los Angeles. I'm still figuring things out with San Francisco.
Aren't we all?
I'm figuring things out with Pittsburgh. I'm figuring things out with Boston. But just keep that in mind. It's it's a really lovely, special show that I love doing. And I know we talked about bombing a lot, but I think this will be a different experience than that.
I agree. I think this. Thanks, Richard, for having me.
I hope that's my hope that I'm putting.
Thanks for having me on your segment, Richard.
Thanks, guys.
From StraightioLab, but a little different.
Yeah, if you guys want to say like one thing about it,
I think this show is so good. I've never not seen it. Crush beyond.
Have you seen it?
Oh no, I've never seen it. So let's start there. No. No, I've seen it.
Sam and I have both seen it together because there was.
We saw the Union Hall. I've seen the Union Hall versions.
Yeah.
Oh right, that was like the third time I did it.
Is that true?
Yeah, and Charlie and I had you guys interview him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the bit was that
before the show
rather than doing
the show you've never seen.
doing a talk back at the end, we did a talk back in the beginning where we interviewed Charlie as the director of a show we haven't yet seen.
Yeah.
Now that's alt comedy. I'm sorry.
No, that's alt comedy, mama.
Yeah, it was really fun. That was a great night.
It was really fun.
Richard, I want to say thank you for having me on your show. StraightioLab presents. Richard promotes his tour.
Thank you. Thanks, George, and thank you, Sam, for saying what you said.
And I just want to promote. I have a podcast, StraightioLab, that anyone can listen to on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, hosted with Sam Taggart, who I think has also been on the show before.
And if you guys don't like this segment, you could just scrub to like.
Well, this will be released on a different. I assume your show has a.
This is a totally different.
Yeah. Well, and we've scheduled the photo shoot for the cover for this one.
And we'll invoice you for that. We always, when Sam and I guest on other podcasts, we usually do a photo shoot and then invoice the host of that podcast.
I'm thinking this photo shoot is leather and lace themed.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
And actually, you would think Sam would be leather, but I'm going to be leather, and Sam is going to be in a full tutu lace.
Yeah, I'm going to be lace.
Very feminine.
What am I wearing?
Well, you're not part of this. We're doing a photo shoot as the guests of StraightioLab Presents. Richard promotes his show, and it'll be like a little photo.
But I don't get a picture.
You have like the cover art for it already. You know what I mean? It's like, but to promote the specific episode, you need a headshot of us. And so we're sending you this photo shoot. We'll send you many options.
Like options.
Yeah, we'll send you a lot of options.
It's really
Can I edit myself like into
If your face is anywhere on this fucking picture, I'm going to sue you
That's not really
to
what it's
hell
about.
and back. You won't be able to fucking buy.
Well, what if I made it cute? Like, what if I did a picture? I like edit it where it looks like you're in your full leather, you're in your full lace, watching me on stage, enjoying the show.
I'm not seeing it.
I'm not really seeing the vision.
Both of you are like smiling.
It just
and
sounds really
laughing,
busy.
Like,
It just sounds really busy, and it kind of goes against the leather and lace.
We
It's
wanna
like
take
leather
one
and
thing
lace
off.
and a stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to take one thing off, and that thing is kind of the additional thing you added after we gave you the finished product. I had to say, let's take that off and then just go with the finished product that has been approved by legal and HR and our entire team. And we'll send you everyone that worked on it, and you can, in the Instagram caption, styling at Style Girl, makeup at Lisa.
Makeup Girl.
Yeah. Yeah. Makeup girl, style girl,
Craft services girl.
craft services girl. Oh, she's a
Shout out to
doll.
Crafty.
She's a doll.
She is
We
a
met
doll.
her when she
So
was a
sweet.
nurse and we were performing surgeries, and we said, "You have such screen presence. We're taking you on tour."
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And honey, do you know how to work a damn grill?
Yeah, by the way, craft services at our photo shoots are like tapas, small plates, oysters,
Wow.
fish tacos. It's a lot of seafood, actually.
It's a
which is
lot of
really-
seafood.
Yes,
We're
seafood.
pescatarian and we
Okay.
only eat fish.
Yeah,
Only
no
fish.
veggies.
No veggies.
One time they included a corn
Wow.
sauce, so we sued and we won.
Yeah.
So that's what you're gonna eat before you get into the leather and the lace.
Yeah, lots of
Yeah, and
fish.
during.
And during, of course.
It sounds like it's gonna be smelly.
Our breaths are going to smell really fishy, too.
Yeah, you're gonna smell fishy as fuck.
Yeah, because we're gonna be serving fucking
We're going to be
fish,
serving
bitch.
fish, bitch.
Bitch.
Wow.
Somebody's gonna be like,
Wow.
"Is it fishy in here? Or is it just me?" And you're gonna be like, "No, it is fishy in here."
And then he's going to
Because
be
it
like,
smells
and then we're going to like breathe in his face, and he's going to be like, "Oh God!"
He's gonna be like, "Damn, fuck."
Oh my God!
The camera is like shaky because the photographer is just like,
Yeah, and then we're like, "Do you want some miso cod?"
he's so god.
Yummers.
Wow. Okay.
Yummers.
So interesting. Okay.
And so I think that concludes that segment. So, Richard, our first segment is called Straight Shooters. And in this segment, we ask you a series of rapid fire questions to gauge your familiarity with and complicity in straight culture. And you have to choose one thing or, oh, by the way, where can people find tickets to your tour?
Oh, thank you so much. We're going to go back to this.
Well, this is a
segment.
new
back
mini
at-
segment.
we're back at
Where can people
StraightioLab
find tickets to
presents
your
Richard
tour?
promotes this tour.
Well, I'm confused. Is this going to be in my episode or is this going to be in Straight?
This
That's
is the
all
third
gonna be
episode.
worked
This
out
is the
in
third
post.
episode.
Yeah.
This is a new third episode.
This is a new, and by the way, and we're doing a new photo shoot to promote this third episode. And it's going to be I'm a robber, a bank robber, and Sam is a bank teller.
Yeah.
And I'm holding,
wow.
holding him.
Okay, so it's
I'm
like
holding him at gunpoint.
robbery.
It's kind of like Inside Man themed,
yeah.
Inside Man.
and
Robbery.
and it's called
call it-
Clarity.
Ooh,
Clarity.
Claire.
This episode is the third episode's called Clarity.
Well, welcome to Clarity.
Welcome to Clarity.
And and the theme song is "If I love you, bounty my clarity."
my enemy.
Any questions?
So, okay, so this is the third episode. Okay.
Yeah.
We're talking
Thank
Linktree.
So yeah, so
Instagram bio.
thank you guys for tuning in. You can go to my Instagram. It's Richard_Perez. And you can find a link tree in the bio. And by the time this comes out, there'll be like a really fun like tour poster, separate from, not attached to StraightioLab Incorporated at all.
I don't know.
Huh.
But it'll be completely a separate photo shoot. Sam and George will not be in the pictures
unfair.
or
I don't
Seems
like
unfair.
anything.
We
like
own
that.
this IP. Like the fact that you're promoting the tour on StraightioLab means that we have to have approval of any further like assets that will be
Are you
produced from it. Yeah.
Yeah, bitch.
And it's not. It's like a pretty like simple process.
It's really standard.
We'll send you the lawyer, and it has to go through makeup girl, style girl. Everyone involved in our photo shoots also has to approve any third party assets.
Yeah.
for my own images.
Yeah, as soon as you came on this show, all creative projects became part of StraightioLab Inc.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
this was
I
in the
guess you
forms
can-
we sent you, and I actually don't really want to like figure it out on air. It's like you can go read them. You've already signed them, and like we have a limited amount of time in the studio, and I'm not going to be going through paperwork with you right now.
Yeah.
Well, we have. Well, okay. I'm not going to fight because that's not what I came here to do. I don't want to fight with you right now. I just am trying to, on this third episode, I'm just trying to bring some clarity to anyone that's confused, that's listened to it. That
If our love is clarity, why are you my tragedy? Sorry, whenever
are the
you say
lyrics.
clarity, whenever someone says clarity by contract, because we're sponsored by the song Clarity, whenever someone says the word clarity, that song starts playing.
It's almost like the but it's clarity.
It's clarity.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful.
But yeah, it'll be on the link tree in the bio, and I guess now with this amendment, I guess I'll have to change the tour image. So
It's okay. There's still time.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time.
And when does the tour start?
the tour starts. It starts March 26th. 6th. That's a hard word for me.
That's a
to
really
say.
tough word.
6th.
It starts March 26th.
6th.
Aries.
How do you say it?
March 26th.
Sam, you're doing a really good job with your lisp. It's actually like almost gone.
Okay, let's go back. Let's start a new episode of our podcast and go do our first segment.
Okay, let's start a new episode. I think, and let's actually scrap those three. I
Yeah,
wasn't feeling it. It's like I think we can use them for Patreon or something.
Yeah, we got network notes.
Oh, there's a paywall.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got network notes, and they really didn't like it. I'm reading the network notes now, and I actually can't read them out loud because they're pretty cruel.
And Richard, we think you have such a unique voice. Like we've
Yeah.
always loved you.
We've always felt that way.
We find ourselves though
sweet.
being kind of the only ones in the room that do.
It's just tough when a voice is so unique. It's like, who will this connect with? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes unique is not necessarily good.
Unique. That was the song you were singing
That
earlier,
is the
right?
song we were singing
I'm
earlier.
that nurse.
So now in this podcast, whenever I hear unique,
Yeah,
I'll go nurse.
that's right.
Also, you know, it's funny. I wonder if people that live in, say, England who go to uni, go uni.
Uni? Back in uni? We met in uni?
That's where you are.
Uni? Get on the tube towards uni?
I'm that bad.
From uni?
Uni.
Oh, I love that.
All right, podcast starts now.
Okay.
Podcast starts
Sam,
now.
do you want to introduce our first segment?
Our first segment is called Straight Shooters. In this segment, we're going to ask you serious rapid fire questions. Basically, this thing or this other thing. The only follow rules, you can't ask any follow up questions or we'll scream at you so fucking loud.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Richard, this is a children's show. You can't say the F slur, which is fuck.
Oh my god. This is crazy. I'm just like overwhelmed.
No, I know.
It's just like too many things are going on.
Are you
right
okay?
now. Too many. No, I'm fine. It's just like a lot of like we just recorded so many episodes. I'm just like confused.
We have to
Yeah.
bank them though because Sam and I have really busy schedules. Like we'll do like 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's do our first segment and then we can go back to doing a bit.
Okay. Fine.
Okay. Richard, Siggy's yogurt or figgy pudding?
I actually did not hear what you said with the first one, but I'll say the second one.
Okay. You
Richard.
bitch.
Richard, pay attention.
No, it just okay.
Pay attention.
Yeah. Okay.
Calling AAA or eating Chipotle?
Ooh.
I love that these rhyme. Eating Chipotle.
Yum. Okay, Richard, signing up for a mailing list or saying thup with a little lisp?
I'm gonna say sup with a little lisp.
Richard, ADHD or all eyes on me in the center of the ring, just like a circus?
All the second ones are like better so far. I'm gonna.
So you think people with ADHD like shouldn't have rights or like be recognized as people by the state? Is that what you're saying?
Those are the rules of the game. Is that?
You can't ask any follow-up questions.
You pick one to have rights.
You pick one to have rights.
You pick one to have rights.
No one's ever figured out what this game is, and basically you're picking which one has rights.
Damn, Richard, you finally unlocked it. It's the way the game works. You have to pick one of the two to have rights.
No. Don't make me choose.
Okay, Richard. The lost daughter or the found footage?
That's good.
Whoa. The lost daughter.
That was a really difficult one. Richard, going on a booze cruise or being addicted to YouTubes?
Being addicted to YouTubes.
Okay, Richard. The Fast and the Furious or a cat who is curious?
A cat who's curious.
Life is good or wife, make food?
I'm gonna say life is good.
Okay, thank God.
True.
Oh, so wait, the wife doesn't deserve rights?
I thought we changed the rules. Don't make me sound bad, guys.
Richard,
don't make me sound
you
bad.
Come here.
Please.
This is the fourth podcast we're recording. You think women don't deserve rights? You think people with ADHD do not deserve to be legally recognized by the state? I mean, this is crazy.
You guys, first of all, I thought this was the 5th episode. I'm just so confused. And then now you're trying to make me sound bad.
Where's Makeup Girl?
Makeup Girl? Or, look, there's a squirrel.
Okay.
Don't mock us.
I just want, and by the way, here's your official score. Here's your official score. Disqualified.
No. No. Are you
From
serious?
0 to 1,000 of your official score is disqualified.
No. Is that the lowest that's ever been given?
Congratulations.
Oh my God. I feel like I just bombed. I'm so embarrassed.
No, Richard, it wasn't you. It was a crowd. And, like, it's just like a weird venue. I mean, it's the 5th recording of the day. Like, we're also not doing great. Like, so but also you are doing so well. But
you're
like,
crushing.
You're crushing. But like the reason the audience doesn't like you is because of other things not in your control. You know, it has nothing to do with you.
So pretty much,
that was it.
That was it. Should we do our topic?
Okay.
Yeah, I would actually love it, Richard, if you could tell us what your straight topic is and what's straight about it. And I know this is your least favorite part of it because you hate being put on the spot.
Okay.
You knew this was coming.
I just want to say, like, you know, my idea is like, okay, I'm just gonna try to go for it.
Yeah, try to go for it.
Hi guys. So thank you for listening to thanks for listening to this portion of the episode. I mean of the recording. Mm-hmm. And my topic for today's StraightioLab is, let's say it all at the same time. 1, 2, 3. Toys. That's me singing Britney Spears' Boys, but it's toys. Look at how they looks like everyone needs one. Toys.
I've been busy thinking about toys.
Toys. Blocks. Dolls. Always busy thinking about action figures.
Legos.
Cars.
Connect.
Richard, what about toys is straight?
Yeah.
Okay. I think, you know, I grew up playing, just a little like context. Like I grew up
playing with toys.
And welcome look where it got me.
Can I tell you something I said last night that I thought I just said off the cuff and it bombed so hard? Sorry, and then we'll go back to toys because I just thought of the phrase. I'm obsessed with when politicians are like, and that's personal to me. Like it's like when they're talking about health and I'm like, that's personal to me. So I said something about like I was like talking about getting married, and then I was like, and same-sex marriage is personal to me. And I thought that would like be something. I understand that it's not a complete joke, but I thought that like people would like get the reference, and the way people were looking at me completely blank. Anyway, so toys are personal for you.
Yes. Toys are personal for me because I grew up playing them with them. And I probably grew up playing with toys till I was like 16, if I'm being honest. But when I was like thinking about picking a topic, I was like, well, toys are like, when toys are brought into your life, at least in our generation and generations before, I don't know what toys look like now necessarily, but I feel like instantly it's like it adheres to like gender stuff and like heteronormative. Like it's instantly like, okay, you're going to play with these toys like right off the bat. And it's like not really like, it just happens. And I'm like, oh, I have Hot Wheels.
Totally.
And I have this. And then you do kind of find your taste sometimes, like, you know, and also like if you have like a sister or something who has toys, and you can mix toys and be like, okay, like I have a Barbie in this universe that I'm building. Like there's some of that. But I think that, I think toys have a heteronormative nature to them.
When you were a child, if you can remember back this far, was there ever a like toy that you had where it was like, oh, he's gonna be LGBTQ plus?
Richard's parents in the early 90s being like, is he LGBTQ plus?
I mean, low key, because my mom, she worked at Toys R Us.
So this is personal for you.
This is personal for you.
This is, yeah. She worked at Toys R Us for a little bit when I was growing up, and she was like in like she did something in like stock room or something, and she would like get us toys sometimes. And also like her and my dad separated when I was like really little, so like he kind of would like spoil us a little bit and be like, I'm dad, I'm fun, here's toys, you know, and I'd be like, yes. And so I was obsessed with Toy Story, the movie. And and my dad got me like, me and my brother, you know, most of the characters from most of the cast, but we didn't have Bo Peep. And I wanted Bo Peep really, really bad. And so I kept asking my mom if she could like hook it up from her job at Toys R Us. I was like, did you get Bo Peep? Mom, did you get Bo Peep? Mom, did you get Bo Peep? And then one day we're on a family vacation, or we're like driving to the beach in Jersey. And like my mom has on like a cassette tape that she played in the car, and it's whatever, her music. And then it just cuts. And it's this audio of me being like, Mom, did you get Bo Peep? Mom, did you get Bo Peep? She was secretly recording me, asking her about that. And everyone laughed.
Wait, I assumed she was secretly recording you because she wanted to remember what you asked for. Was she doing it to bully you?
It might have been. I don't know if it was to bully me. I don't know.
Was she being like, doesn't Richard sound LGBTQ plus in this clip?
I think that was it. She was looking for evidence.
Is that true?
She's like, I've got it. I'm going to the cops.
Yeah.
Police.
I have everything.
My son is LGBTQ plus.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure why she recorded it, but yeah. And I remember I was like really embarrassed.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm sorry. But yeah.
But yeah, you sound gay here.
She was like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry I recorded this. But you do sound gay here.
Like, don't shoot the messenger. And I love you. I'm your mother. But you do sound gay.
You sound a little gay wanting this shit.
So did you ever get it?
Yeah.
I don't think I did. No, I don't think so. I don't
And
remember.
that's why you're a comedian.
And that's why you're a comedian.
And that's why you're a
You're
performer.
searching for Bo Peep.
You still
Sorry, I
haven't
didn't
found
think I was
her.
going to get so personal.
Well,
in
it's
this.
personal to you.
Yeah, it's personal to you.
Yeah, that's true. This topic is toys are very personal to me.
Toys are personal to you because you were given them by both your father and your mother. And in that sense, they reified the gender binary.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because as a kid, you were
Yeah.
like, toys can come from two places, man or woman.
Literally.
Okay, Richard, I have another question. If you remember childhood, which you're already doing such a good job of,
Yeah.
Thank you.
was there ever a toy that you had that you really loved that said, "Wow, our boy is gonna be fucking straight as hell.
Mhm.
This guy's gonna fucking pound poon in a way that no one else ever has."
Probably the first thing that jumps to mind is like Spider-Man's like abs.
Yeah.
You had a toy of just Spider-Man's abs.
No. I had like broken toys. They were really scary.
You were
like Sid in
Yeah.
Toy Story.
My favorite toy is Spider-Man's abs.
Abs. Yeah, so Spider-Man, but I felt like I remember just being really like fixated on his body. He had a really, he had a nice body. He had a really tight.
Yeah, but it was
tight
sort of more
body.
twinky. Like you weren't into like the Superman.
No, he was like upside down triangle, like shape,
Oh,
like
yeah,
big
yeah,
shoulders, little waist.
Oh,
like
interesting.
you got a
That's not really
butt,
true
like,
to what I consider. What I grew up with.
Well, this was the 90s. I don't know, like
Yeah, George, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
yeah, I think Spider-Man. This is before Tobey Maguire.
Maguire.
Like,
Okay.
you've been like so
Yeah.
poisoned by the media. Like, you have such different expectations of what Spider-Man should even look
So
like.
you think Peter Parker is like a meathead?
Look, we're not saying that. We're just saying he's like fucking
I'm not
upside down
saying,
triangle.
yeah.
He
Like,
just
he's
has
got
like
broad shoulders, and, like,
shoulders.
bubble butt.
he just has broad shoulders.
yeah.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, he's kind of like. Yeah,
Well, I
don't
will
know.
say to sort of bring it to toys as straight. I do think you're absolutely right. The toys are one of the first avenues through which children are introduced to gender roles and to gender differences.
Yeah.
Um,
Did y'all play with toys growing
yeah,
up?
you better believe we did.
So this is actually really personal to both of us because we actually played with toys.
We both played with toys.
Oh.
that
so
was one of
you
the
can-
first things we bonded over.
Yeah, I'll never forget meeting George at Our Wicked Lady in Bushwick and going, wait a minute. I was like, God, I was so weird growing up. Like, I love toys.
We
And
were
George
both
was like,
freaks
wait,
growing
I
up.
love toys.
Yeah. When I could tell, I said you were different.
Yeah.
You like
And I was like,
toys.
hold on, did you play with toys?
And then we've been inseparable ever since.
I do have a toy story of my own.
Okay, go
You
on.
do?
Go on.
Okay, I don't know if I've told it on this pod before, but when I was really
God.
young, I was obsessed with Little Mermaid toys, which was my big signal that I was going to be an LGBTQ plus American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I to the point where I was like maybe like
God.
3, and I dropped My Little Mermaid in the pool, and I fell in the pool to try to get it, and the lifeguard had to save me.
Oh no! And then at the end, he was like, probably like, so like, how did you get? Is everything okay? And you were like, my mermaid.
And he's like,
This
what
kid
the
is
fuck?
LGBTQ plus.
Wait, what?
Bro, pause.
Bro, are you LGBTQ plus?
But my mom always tells this story. Well, it's funny. She used to tell it as like when I was straight, she would be like, you're like, people would say, don't play with that because, it'll make him gay. It'll make him gay. Don't let him play with those dolls. And we showed them.
That is such a funny way of being accepting. Just being like, I was a progressive parent because I knew he was straight. Like, he could play with dolls. He could put on dresses. Who cares? Like, I knew my boy was straight.
Right. That's so funny.
But I was obsessed with mermaids in particular. The hair underwater. I had like multiple mermaid dolls. The hair underwater was like so meaningful to me.
And I love the bikini top
And I love the bikini top.
too.
Totally.
I love it.
No, it's so divalicious, divatronic.
It is fab, yeah. And especially seeing the like the hair move around in the water.
Oh my God, the way that hair moves. Ugh.
Dancing, just dancing.
I just fill up the sink, dip her in there, watch that hair flow.
Just oh my God, I want I love
Just
toys.
practicing disrespecting women's bodily autonomy as white gay men in our later life when we're just, oh, give us another album. Oh, get back in the studio, bitch. Oh, you flopped. Oh, your song didn't chart. Oh, this is a thread of Katy Perry's worst moments. That's all because of that song.
Pelliana. George, do you have an LGBTQ plus toy story?
Yeah, what happened to you?
So I loved toys. It's actually personal for me.
So this is really personal.
It's really personal for me.
I didn't know we had so much in common.
This is like so personal to all of us.
It's really personal for me. I would say I loved Power Rangers. I was obsessed with like the way that their heads would switch from costume to not costume. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Of course. I loved the Power Rangers toys as well.
Loved the Power Rangers. I loved did they have Action Man in the US?
I'm not familiar with this.
Okay, it's just like it's an action figure who is kind of military coded.
I'm going to be honest, sounds not very thought out.
For sure.
Action Man?
Yeah, but he was so hot is the thing. So I would make Action Man and my sister's Barbies have sex and even threesomes because I actually only had one Action Man, but my sisters had probably like over 5 Barbies if I were to guess.
Well, that's cool that you had poly toys. That's really inclusive.
I had a lot of, but it was kind of toxic in this way where like the man had a harem of women rather than like
it was a bit religious in that way.
Yeah, it was more that rather than like kind of Latigra queer polyamory.
Yeah, that's
and so I had that. So obviously, yes, girl toys are dolls. Girl toys are like kitchen appliances, easy bake oven, and then boy toys are cars, trucks, action figures, guns.
Yeah.
So we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Part of toys, one of the parts of toys that was again so personal to me was the kind of sublime of going into a toy store. There is something that as a kid I'm like, this is what church must feel like to someone who's religious. Did you ever go to just like a big toy store? Like I have a memory of
like Toys R Us.
Yeah, like Toys R Us or like so before we originally moved here, the first time I came to New York, we went to FAO Schwartz, and I was like, this is America. Like, I can't.
I still have never been.
Me either.
Does that exist?
George, you're so privileged.
Yeah, well. And I went when I was like 6 years old.
Fuck. We've never even been.
Mm-hmm.
We've never been.
And I was told from a young age, and I really internalized this, that the toys were of a higher quality. My parents were like, all these other toys made in China at FAO Schwartz, there are elves basically making them backstage.
Wow.
And so we got these 2 stuffed animals. One was a hippo, one was a dolphin. And the way that I was like, I have to take good care of these because they're going to be worth millions one day. And I still have them. And they look pristine, to be honest.
And they're worth millions. I actually think one of the darker things about childhood is how early you worry about the worth of your toy.
Sorry, our producer is saying,
oh my God.
Olivia's parents told her FAO Schwartz was a museum and she couldn't touch anything. I mean, but it was sort of it.
You can't touch
so.
anything.
So you've still never been to FAO Schwartz?
No.
I was just so young that it made an impression on me.
Is it still open?
I don't think it is, and if it is, then it's under probably owned by some venture capital firm.
So we'll never get to go. We'll basically never get to go.
At its best, though, you would not. It was like you wouldn't believe. Now here, you want to know my white whale with toys?
Mm-hmm.
The Spice Girls Barbies.
You had this.
Oh my God.
I didn't have them. I knew that would be too LGBTQ plus for me to even ask for.
Yeah.
Right.
You said, honey, that's even too LGBTQ plus for me.
Yes.
And I'm LGBTQ plus.
But you know what I did is when my sister was born, they told me I could get her a gift, and I got her the Britney Spears Barbie so I could play with it myself.
Smart. Very smart.
Of course.
Very, very smart.
Oh my God. I remember Britney Spears was like the first album I ever owned.
Mine was Spice Girls.
Oops, I did it again.
What was yours, Sam?
I think it might have been Backstreet Boys.
Cute.
Yeah. Maybe Millennium even.
I'm on the, I don't know why, but I'm on the press list for the Sphere in Las Vegas. And so they tell me whenever there's a new residency there, and the Backstreet Boys are doing Millennium there. For like 3 weeks, and they recreated the photo shoot where they're all wearing all white in front of like a silver and white background.
Wow, Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
Let's go. But guys, I'm touring. I'm so sorry. I'm
Richard,
so sorry.
Add a Vegas date.
Yeah,
add a Vegas date.
Vegas Day. Outside of the sphere.
I'm having so much fun being loose, and then there's a part of me that's like, I actually think toys as straight culture is so smart that I want to like really, really get into it. You know what I mean?
Let's get into it.
I want to say, I think it's funny when boys just do love trucks. I'm
Yeah.
always like, huh. So it's like just that literal, huh? Like,
And no one wants to talk about this. Of course, not all boys love trucks, but the
Hashtag
thing
not all
is,
boys.
not all boys. But the thing is, 80% of them literally do, deeply and with an uncontrollable urge to just
Like, what is
Yeah.
that?
what is that? That like scares me. The way that boys love trucks.
It didn't happen to me.
It didn't happen.
I love people.
God,
I love
dinner parties.
mystical creatures.
Mhm.
I love Pikachu. I
loved
like
Pikachu.
Bo
I love
Peep.
Pikachu.
I
like-
actually think Pokemon is an interesting that bridges the gap.
Yes.
Because boys could like
Totally.
that and girls could
Oh my
like
God,
that.
that's such a good point.
100. Yeah, Pokemon was everything.
Well, of course there's girl Pokemon.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You raise your hand in the
Jigglypuff.
classroom. You say, "I like Jigglypuff." You're going to be bullied out of the entire state
Oh my
of
god!
Indiana.
And video games, like picking, like Super Smash Bros, like picking which characters, and I'm like, oh, I want to be like, what's her name? Like Zelda, or there's one Sheik, or whatever her name is. Like she turns into Zelda,
Yeah, Zelda
Yeah.
and Sheik.
Sheik.
Yeah.
and I'm like, I want to do that one, and I would do
I
it.
would fucking do it.
Here's the question, because
Yeah.
I think this is a little counterintuitive. Do you think it's straight or gay to be like a progressive mom who's overly concerned about what gender norms the toys are instilling in her kids? Because I actually think that's very straight. It's very straight woman who went to Bar Nerd and thinks that it like is paying so much attention to whether or not her kids play with dolls or trucks.
To me, it's still gay. To
You think
me,
so?
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's
Wait, so toys are gay?
Toys are
no.
straight.
This
But
toys
it's
are
like
straight.
imagine a mom that's like, so I remember this actually when we were young, there was this line in this sort of like rich person toy store. There was a line of like Barbie like dolls called Smarties, because they were smart. And each of them had a different high power job. So there was like lawyer, doctor. Now one might ask, doesn't Barbie also have those jobs? Yes. But this was like,
Yeah.
branded in a way to be feminist. And I'm just sort of
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't buy that for my kids.
Well, there's something that's like overthinking
Yes.
the gender neutrality and
Yeah,
what does this
exactly.
mean for my kid. I think it's so LGBTQ plus.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
In a way that's like admirable, but also is like chill out. Like there's something where it's like it's fine. Like
Mhm.
it's actually
Right.
fine either way.
I'm also always worried that kids are going to rebel against whatever they are raised with, which is
That's
why
so
you
true.
legitimately, and I'm not kidding, can't raise them too progressively because they will
Right.
become right wing. Like you actually have to raise kids as neutrally as possible.
Be like, hey, play with these toys.
Yeah.
Like play with this truck.
Yeah, like you have to tell them trucks are for boys and dolls are for
You're
girls.
gonna, yeah, blue,
Use blue,
Your
and then
sister, pink.
punish them if they don't like their assigned color.
Yeah,
That's really fun.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, fuck yeah.
yeah.
fuck yeah.
I love toys so much, and I just want to play with them again. You
No,
know,
I know.
actually, not recently. This was a few years ago. What am I saying? My cousin, like we used to all play together. Like my brothers, my cousin, my neighbors. Like we'd play like cops and robbers, or like come up with these games or like different scenarios. We like we're in a castle and we have to whatever defend like whatever. And I was always cast, or usually I was cast as like the bad guy or like the villain to defeat. And I think I was just like, I had fun doing that and just kind of playing into that character. But my cousin thinks that like that like speaks to like my like queerness
Oh, interesting.
or something, like, you know, like a Disney villain gay or whatever sort
Yeah.
of way, like being like, you'll never figure this one out. And then it's like, get him! And then they all win.
Well, it certainly speaks to you being a performer.
That's true. It's definitely a meatier role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're losing yourself in character.
I do, yeah. And so I would feel that way with like toys. Like I would be put in those similar dynamics. Like I'm like, oh, like we're playing with toys, and I have to lose.
Wait, what?
Because he's
because you're the villain. So like the narrative demands that ultimately you don't get your way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because what message would that send if the villain won?
Right.
Yeah, an LGBTQ positive one, I guess.
Right. Toys.
I like toys in cars.
Toys.
Toys in bars.
Toys in bars.
George froze. He's so mad. He froze.
George?
Oh my God, hold on.
George. George.
We like George.
I like
in
George
cars.
George.
Buy us drinks in bars.
George. We love him.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, you missed it. We just did an amazing
We wrote a song.
No, I heard George, and then it cut.
Okay.
I was sort of contemplating bringing it to a place of like the way tender queer people talk about sex toys and whether that is related to toys. You know
I'm
what
actually
I mean?
glad you're going here.
And so I know I'm coming at this in a sort of like, already I don't feel confident. It's a flaccid suggestion, but I'm like, there is something there because there's something, and I would almost go so far as to say this has to do with like sex positivity writ large, where it's kind of like bringing a childlike wonder to sex.
I find it mostly like a cringy approach to sex.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's such a thing as a sex nerd. This is a theory I've been working on. And I think like a sex nerd really makes sex unsexy. And I think when someone's really like, you know, like try using a toy to, or, you know, if you want to get into toys and like make sure the toy is a high quality toy. Like if they're saying like toy with this way, I get like grossed out by it. And like, it's like, I don't think of it as a sex toy. I think of it as a sex tool. I like, you know,
this is serious business.
It's serious business, and it's like has a use and a purpose. Like I don't take them out and I'm like, how fun.
Let's play.
Let's play with this toy. I'm like, no, it's like opening up a hole or being a hole. Like it is like it's not like creating imagination. It's simply like a tool for physically feeling different things.
Yes,
right,
and also. Bringing this childlike energy into sex is like, I of course understand the instinct to destigmatize it because it should not be shameful. But of course, what's exciting about it is that it's forbidden. So if you're like, oh, toys, oh, we're cuddling, oh, cuddle party, like blah, 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 then it's like, okay, well, now I feel weird because it feels like you're talking to me like I'm a kindergartner.
Yeah.
I don't know any of this really.
You're like, I don't do that.
I feel, I mean, I'm just far away from this topic.
What do you mean?
Sex.
Have you had sex? I forget.
Honestly, at this point, no. No.
If you asked me 5 years ago, yes.
Yeah, that would have maybe said something else.
Okay, let's do our final segment.
I have a shout out. Okay, our final segment is called shout outs. And in this segment, we pay homage to the grand straight tradition of the radio shout out and shout out anything that we enjoy. People, places, things, ideas. And I thought I didn't have one, but I actually do have one, and I'm excited to do it.
Okay.
Do it.
What's up, freaks, losers, perverts all around the globe from sea to shining sea? I want to give a huge shout out to the John Early, Kate Berlant Peacock special that Richard is in called Would It Kill You to Laugh? I watched this last weekend for the first time. Yes, it came out 3 years ago. So what? So sue me. I watched this for the first time last weekend, and I was saying, damn, this is funny as hell. John and Kate are already well respected in our community, but they're so funny, and you watch it and you're like, it's so fun, it's so funny, it's well performed, it's well written, it's playful. I'm so in awe, and I was like, damn, they really did it. And honestly, I was like, I can't believe this isn't more popular. I think this should be a damn classic. And it was so good. Richard, you're incredible in it, of course. And I think if you never watched it, because it came on, I think when Peacock was quite new, and so maybe it was like where do I watch it? What's Peacock now? But you probably have Peacock now to watch Traitors, and I want to say, go ahead and watch Would It Kill You to Laugh? It is great.
So
XOXO
funny.
Sam.
It's literally a miracle when good things get made.
Yeah.
You people don't know.
You fucking people
literally
don't know.
you don't know. You think you know. You think you're like, oh yes, we get it. Like Hollywood is consolidated and sort of like evil people with bad taste are making decisions. It is quite literally, not exaggerating, 20 times worse than you think.
Yeah.
I know, honestly, like most movies or anything I watch, I'm like, that's amazing. It happened.
Yes. No, I know. Which is
If there's
why-
like anything good in it,
I'm not quick to be like, I hate that. That was so. I mean, it depends. But I feel like I'm like, whoa.
yeah.
Like
I'm quick to do that if it's like a Star Wars property or something.
Yeah.
Like I'm quick to hate on like Marvel's like big things.
Yeah, right.
But even that, I obviously I am too. But then you just think about all the people that were employed and how it all came together. Even if it's a terrible movie, the fact that it all just came together to
That's
produce
true.
like a 2-hour piece of entertainment. I would love to see the Trump administration produce one Marvel movie because they couldn't.
They couldn't.
Not with Doge.
Okay.
I'll go. What's up, Cinephiles, Letterboxd users around the world? I want to give a shout out to the film The House of Yes. Of course, I knew this was a cult classic. The cover of Parker Posey holding the gun behind her back, wearing the Jackie O look, is a classic early blockbuster memory. I remember looking at that and being like, that is inappropriate for me. I can tell that that's like somehow not safe for kids. And at the time I was playing with toys, so this is personal for me. I watched it for the very first time last night, and I have to admit, I had no idea what it was about. It is so much more crazy and fucked up than I thought. And it is so weird. It is such a it has such a specific 90s indie energy. It is Parker Posey at her finest. And I specifically want to give a shout out to Tori Spelling's performance. She's a really good comedic actress. And she's also really good in the movie Trick, which I have shouted at on the pod before. I know that, her life has not gone the way that she has wanted it to go.
Well,
and I don't think
you do.
Exactly. I don't think she'll be making her return to the screen or stage anytime soon. But there is footage of her acting, and she is good. And I enjoyed her performance, and I think she has some screen presence. Sue me. So shout out to Tori Spelling, of course, her memoir Storytelling, and the film The House of Yes.
Woo! Beautiful.
Or is it House of Yes or The House of Yes?
I've actually never seen it, and I don't know.
House of Yes.
House of Yes.
So that's crazy because I just thought that was a venue in Bushwick.
It's The House of Yes. Oh yeah. Wait, if you Google it, do you recognize that cover from Blockbuster? To me, it's so iconic.
House of Yes.
I'm thinking of House of Wax, but that's a different
movie.
House of Yes.
I have never seen this image in my entire
Wow.
life, not once.
Wait, Richard, do you know The House of Yes, the movie?
No, I just looked up a picture.
Do you recognize
she
it?
looks. I don't honestly.
All right, well,
But I love this outfit.
okay, so she is, just quickly, since we don't have a hard out,
She's holding a gun.
she's holding, she is, she plays a sort of, in 90s terms, before we knew about how to be non-ableist, she was an insane person that had just gotten out of an asylum. And she's obsessed with Jackie O, so she calls herself Jackie O and dresses like Jackie O. And you find this out, honestly, 10 minutes into the movie, but the entire movie is about incest. She's in love with her brother.
Oh.
Whoa.
So that's what I mean. Like, I thought, I always knew there was something inappropriate about it, but I didn't know that's what it was.
Interesting.
And Tori
That's like weird.
Yeah,
And Tori
George, that doesn't seem like a movie I'd want to
Tori
watch.
Spelling is the brother's fiance.
Yeah, George, I don't think
That's
I'm
so
going to like
weird.
that movie.
Like, that's weird. I don't know why I didn't even watch that.
Yeah, George, could you not talk about that?
Yeah.
Hey, Olivia, could we cut that? That's weird.
No, I would watch this though.
No, it's very
Yeah,
like
I'm sick and twisted. I'd watch that.
It's like peak, when you think of Parker Posey as a cult icon, this is it. It's like this party girl and like day trippers and like.
And Tori Spelling, also I first saw her in Scary Movie 2.
Oh my God, I forgot. Which is the best scary movie.
She's so.
Oh
she's
no,
so
3 is
funny
the best
in it.
one. Sorry.
3 is the best
3 is the
one.
best one.
Yeah. I mean, from what I remember just like laughing.
And she also, people like Tori Spelling, people like Kirstie Alley, they were like Kathy Griffin. They had like this sort of self-aware sense of humor about their own place in celebrity culture. Before that was something that everyone had to do in order to do like,
Totally.
Vanity Fair video, My Life and Looks.
Oh my God, totally.
They were ahead of their time. Like Tori Spelling having a reality show, Sorry.
Gilly vibes.
The Simple Life. Gilly.
Gil.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Happy 50th SNL. Happy
50th, you guys.
Yeah. Causing on the record like a bar. Yeah. Hair's like a bubbles. I'm under the troubles.
Sorry.
So stupid. I love it's so funny to have
rich.
a podcast and you can just like quote SNL for like 1 minute.
By the way, Barb and Star is so good.
I love that freaking movie.
Thank you, George. I agree.
my God.
It had to be said.
It had to be
That
said.
movie is fab, and it made me laugh, and it made me cry
it's
too.
so good.
No, I loved
It's
it.
sweet. I love when a movie does both for
And
me.
I love when a movie's fucking fun. No one wants to have fun
It's so fun.
anymore.
I know, literally.
You know what I think? I think Tori Spelling wanted to have fun, and then she was punished for it, and now she has to be, she's like sort of in the tableau. It's like if everyone had embraced Tori Spelling being kind of a joke in this like fun way, then she wouldn't have to be a joke in a tragic way. And that many
agree.
such cases, to quote President Donald
Many
J.
such
Trump.
cases. Many such cases. Richard, when you're ready to give a shout out, please take the reins.
Okay. Okay, let's go. Hey, what's up, everyone? I want to give a shout out to the television show Arrested Development.
Woo!
Since we're talking about cinema and media and things like that, I feel inspired to give a shout out to this iconic television show. I recently watched a compilation YouTube video of LOL, like laugh out loud moments from Arrested Development, and that show is just so funny and one of the greatest things ever created, which has shaped an entire generation. It's so influential. So I want to say thank you guys. Thank you, Ron Howard and Mitchell Hurwitz, for doing that.
And Portia de Rossi.
And the cast.
Thank you to the cast.
The cast. You guys killed it.
Michael Cera.
Michael Cera.
How are you?
Alia Shawkat.
Alia. David Cross.
Will Arnett. Will Arnett bought, I read, he bought a $20 million home.
I saw this as well, actually.
Whoa.
And guess what? He deserves it.
Where?
Yeah,
I
mark
don't
my
know,
words.
actually.
I will never need a $20 million house. If I tomorrow run into $100 million,
It is a lot of
still
money,
going to be like,
actually.
I think
That's
a $3 million house is plenty. And literally just like keep it in the bank account.
Yeah,
Totally.
and then invest.
Right.
And also donate.
I just want like to fucking live my
don't-
life.
Also, I just want like a cute ass apartment.
Pelly.
I'm like happy with that. I'm happy to have a beautiful apartment. And then, if I do something smart with the $100 million, I'm like, I'll get another cute apartment somewhere else.
Yeah, but you know what? My ass wants to have an art collection. I want to be one of those rich people who has a museum, like the Broad in LA, where it's like a family
their
owns
house.
all
Wait,
of it.
where do people like keep that?
It's
Like, do they
MJ
have?
well, you
Lenderman
can
out.
also lend it out to to a museum, and it can be like MJ Lenderman out. It can be like from the George Civeris and Sam Taggart family collection.
No, it's literally like that.
Like, I don't know what his music sounds like, but is it something like that?
Wait, speaking of music,
Yeah.
can we shout out our friend Baths, whose album dropped today?
Shout out to Will.
Shout out to Will.
I listened to it this morning
New
too.
Baths album dropped today.
I was loving it.
Oh my god, I listened to
literally
it this morning.
today. I mean,
so fucking good. I love it.
I know the body.
and honestly, shout out to Will being snatched as hell. Hello, body,
Yeah,
yaddy,
such a
yaddy.
hunk. hunky Spider-Man
Spider.
who.
He literally,
Spider-Man who.
he could never be cast as Peter Parker. Guess why? Too hunky.
He's too hunky.
He's fab.
Yeah.
Faboosh.
Yeah, he's fabulous.
Faboosh.
He's fab, and
we're proud of him too.
Congrats, Will, everyone.
Yeah, and we're proud of him too because we all know him and we're friends with him. And wait, that's also Kristen Wiig. And so I'm
my
actually
God.
because
I actually worked on the album.
worked on the album together, and I actually
Happy
I actually
50th
mixed and edited the
SNL.
I'm playing the album right now.
Actually, I was the original.
So
bass,
many
and then he
iconic
joined, and then he became a-
characters.
What a beautiful stage. Just clear it out. Happy 50th SNL.
Oh my God.
What do you guys want to talk about one more thing?
Not really. StraightioLab is a production by Will Ferrell's Big Money Players Network and iHeart Podcasts.
Created and hosted by George Civeris and Sam Taggart.
Executive produced by Will Ferrell, Han Sani, and Olivia Aguilar.
Co-produced by Bei Wang.
Edited and engineered by Adam Avalos.
Artwork by Michael Fales and Matt Grubb.
Theme music by Ben Kling.